Spain was not a democracy. It was not a member of the Council of Europe. I mean, Spain was isolated,
yes,
both by Europe and both by itself. Then the attitudes, being open to other countries and to the international experiences, well, were aborted because the Spaniards before would not go out. Only a minority, in which, well,
because they couldn't afford it.
They could afford, but they were lacking the interest,
yes,
because they didn't have really. They had, many of them had the means, or even myself, I could not have the means, but I found the means by taking part in international camps or whatever. Madrid at the time used to be, how could we define that? Some kind of semi-provincial capital. Semi-provincial capital, because the migrants coming to Madrid at the time were all Spaniards, but from the provinces. Being a member of the European communities and then to the European Union, because that meant very, very big investments that have radically changed the infrastructures of Spain, and together with that, economy and many things. That has also been helping people to move out through all the European, cooperational programs, university cooperational programs, and then before Erasmus and all the programs similar today. And this has radically changed the Spanish society, but in a way, I guess sometimes a little bit superficial. Spanish people, especially during the 80s, during the decade of the 80s and still the 90s, many Spanish people moved out of downtown Madrid, and then they moved to what we call the Sierra, the mountains surrounding Madrid, to places where they could live in their own house and not in a flat, in a big building with other neighbors. And then this led many of the core or central areas of Madrid, many houses were left unused. There is a direct relation with income and attitude, and then a bigger income always make people more. How can we define this? Because I don't want to use words that have a sense or a weight, a certain weight. But well, we have to tell it really. People becomes more materialistic. The society was much more human before. People were much friendly. Then, if to that process that was already a Spanish process within the country and our own culture, you add the coming of migrants by the millions in only the last 10 years, and especially during the last 5 years, that creates also a sensation of mistrust. The only problem with the Spanish society is that it is a very new phenomenon. I mean, Spaniards, and this is a difference with the Netherlands, for instance, Germany or even France, which receive migrants from other countries by the dozens of thousands since the end of World War II. In Spain, this is a late process. It's a process that became normal only 15 years ago, but especially during the last 5 years. Rich society that is so pretending, so very pretending. And everyone pretends to be what they are not, in fact. Because if you try to dig a little bit, you will see that there's nothing. There's a facade. There's nothing more. Yeah, that's quite European. Yeah, well, in a way. I heard this. Let's talk about something not only Spanish but Mediterranean, and which has to do with the weather, with the weather conditions, and with the diet, and with the way of living and earning your life. And that's we were referring to that before. And it's living in the streets, making life in the streets. So having an open spirit, a talkative spirit. Yeah. And also, which is something, a dichotomy in the Spanish character, being so social and at the same time being so individualistic. Generations getting to know Europe through these means are not familiar with what was the pre-democracy Spain. So maybe sometimes politically they are not very, consequent. They are not very aware of what this social change means and the things that we still have to improve. Spanish people has always been very Spanish, and I don't think that's a bad thing if they are able to be also other things and not only Spanish.